afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the third Daily Dance Dialogue here of the 44th Prix de Lausanne, and it's a great honor to present not only one true international star here, but we've got two. And it's with great pleasure that I would very much like to introduce Diana Vishneva and Marcelo Gomes. Welcome back to Lausanne.
Thank you very much.
So I know you're both incredibly busy. First of all, thank you so much. You know, Marcelo, you're with us for the whole week as a member of the jury. And Diana, it's a great privilege to have you with us to dance for this year's Prix. And I'd like to start maybe. How was it for you the last time you were here as a competitor?
I'm really happy to be here. I'm really happy to come back. It's full of memory coming on my head, and it feels like it's not 22 years ago. It feels like a couple of years ago it was, and it's still. It's unbelievable how the memory come back. Each corner, the studio, the backstage, and. It was really hard time for me. I can't believe it. I can do it again if it's somebody asks me, if you remove the time, can you do it again? I'm not sure. It was hard and stressful, especially for students of Vaganova school. It's not really necessary to go to competition because it's, you know, it's the best school, and after the school you go into the best company. No, each from the world we have couple of the best company, but I mean, in St. Petersburg, in Russia, of course, I don't need to be dreamed to be a ballerina in Mariinsky. I knew it, that I will be. It's not really necessary. I don't think about that I'm going to a competition for what, because I'm really concentrated to be a student and for exams, the full of the lessons, programs. But one day, the Elvira Braunschweig came to our class, and she said immediately, "Guys, come on, you should go. It's really important. You can believe it, how you open your eyes, your mind, and it will be different." And of course, the director for school said, "You know, but if she's not win, it will be not really good reputation for Vaganova school." And it was really huge secret that some of the from Vaganova school going to Prix de Lausanne. And I remember it's also hard time. It's not just we prepare from the best school to go into some contemporary and classical competition. It was really hard winter. It was really cold, and I don't know, on the studio it was vacation when we prepared for Lausanne, and it was cold on the studio. It's switch off the heat. I don't know why, but it's really cold and full of on clothes, and we prepare. And before 1 week, I sprained my foot, and it's really swollen. And I understood that I can go there, and it's really swollen, but it didn't stop me. I take the shoes off and I prepare everything on the demi-point. And before a few days, and I still can go to the point. And I decide that I will be present my contemporary garment without point shoes. But finally, I was really take a risk, and I'm really strong inside. That's now I understand. I decide, no, I will be on a point, and I did. And I remember in that corner, I'm really pray, because I really pray for can you give me chance to do just 8 releve for the Italian theater? I just pray for that because I didn't feel that my leg will be enough strong. And of course, when I win, it's not shock. I remember it's kind of the world blur for me. And I not really remember my feeling because I out of the world. I can't believe it. And for me, was also not really necessary, but necessary for my school, for my teacher, and I was win. But and also now I more understand how it was really pushing that time through all my career. I come back after the Lausanne. I came different person. It's really opened my mind. It's really give me the dreaming that I will be really wanna to look in not only classical way, the contemporary way. I'm really start to dream and to work personally with a choreographer. I was really jealous when some girls around me, they already work with Neymar, and she had already Neymar piece, and they said, oh, how she's lucky. And of course, it's already going to my mind. And now I'm full of the power for what I dreaming that time. Now I everything have in my career, in my life. And of course, it's give me really good journey through the career. That's day when I win. That's little story.
And Marcelo, how was it for you when you came to Lausanne?
How was it? It was incredible as well. I mean, I left Brazil when I was 13, and I studied in a school, small boarding school called the Herod Conservatory in Florida. And that school decided that, they were going to take me to the Prix de Lausanne, come here. And so I just prepared with my teacher and Nutcracker Variation and another contemporary solo by this Canadian choreographer called Mark Godden. And I became extremely close with my teacher, Olivier Pardina, because we had class every day alone. He decided to take me out of the group. And so we did a lot of work by ourselves, and we became almost like a father and son relationship, which was really beautiful. And I just felt really blessed. I felt really blessed by the opportunity, because I never thought that I would be in Lausanne, when I was a little boy in Manaus, in Brazil, in the middle of the jungle. So I took every moment with an open mind and open eyes. I felt also the pressure that Diana was feeling, because I was 16, and there are a lot of eyes on you, not just by your own teacher, by the judges, but by other people from other schools. You feel really watched. And for that as a young dancer, a young student, is an incredible amount of stress and pressure. I remember that there were eliminations after each day, instead of how it's now, which is so much better, that the dancers get to experience more of the week. And I just felt like I couldn't believe that my number was still up there. I honestly couldn't believe after each day. And I could see some of the dancers being really upset, and I couldn't believe that wasn't happening to me. When I won Prix Espoir and got a scholarship to go to Paris Opera Ballet School, that was another moment that I will never forget. And it opened so many doors for me as a man, and in my training. I learned another language, after 3 years trying to speak English and then having to learn French. That was incredible growing experience. And then I worked with some of the most wonderful teachers in that school. So it really, the Prix de Lausanne gave me an incredible open door. And to be back in the jury, it's like not even paying back. It's like when the Prix called me and asked me, I said, I'll do whatever you want. Sure. Interviews anytime. And it's been wonderful, but it's also very interesting to know what the young dancers are going through. So my markings are also based on that. When I'm judging them, it's not based on nothing. Like, I've experienced exactly what they're experiencing. So I take that into consideration if there are any of you out there.
And you. Thanks. And you've both had very close relationships with your teachers. I had the chance to go to St. Petersburg with a group of students 2 years ago, and they were all like, oh, we're having class with Diana's teacher. And they were so scared, and she was the most generous, funny, loving, kind. You've really had an amazing mentor in her.
Yeah, she's not only my teacher, she's my godmother. Yeah, and I grow in not only her class, I'm growing in her family. And she had 4 daughters and now grandchildren. I don't remember how, but a lot, kind of 6 maybe, or maybe around 6, yeah. And I was kind of 5th daughter of her family, and she's amazing. And it's not only me now, and so all of the theater has her students in Vienna, in Berlin, and the Bolshoi Theater. It's really a great teacher, and I'm really, of course, lucky. And I don't know, судьба это что такое?
Fortunate.
Yeah.
I'm really fortunate. And I'm really fortunate to have her. I believe in the fortune, and it was a fortunate meeting her. And till now I work with her, and I'm very grateful to her.
And Marcelo knows her very well. She's really kind.
Yeah, she's amazing. Yeah.
And then
And
from
now, actually, in Mariinsky Theater, just sorry, I had to interrupt you. 1st of April, I'm doing my gala, and I'm doing bow to her. I invite all of students, of best students around the world, and congratulations. She's a 75.
you're both very, very present on the international scene, and I wonder, I mean, if you see Marcelo on Facebook, today's Washington, tomorrow San Francisco, then Rio, then New York, then, I mean, how do you manage to keep your artistic focus and the physical shape with such a demanding...
Yeah, it's difficult. You have to be able to manage and keep healthy, first of all. That's very hard when you're on planes, going back and forth, and hotels, and living out of suitcase for a couple months. But I think that the main thing, I think that social media is wonderful by all means, because it's made the audience not view, in my opinion, these dancers as these untouchable stars. I think that there's a much more closer connection to artists nowadays, which is great. But at the same time, I try not to lose focus on the work. I feel like that can all get away from you very fast. And I try to make sure that I have a few weeks that I am somewhere, whether it's in New York with Diana or we're preparing for a season, that we're both there and committed to getting something ready and taking the proper time to put it on stage. But I mean, traveling is wonderful, and when we all love it, and we get to meet different people and work with different choreographers and see how different companies work, not just ABT. The feeling, the energy that it's around those dancers. How is it to perform at, in the Mariinsky and then go to somewhere else in the States and perform there? It's great. It's really wonderful lifestyle, but then you do have to remember to go back to your basics and of course take class every day and do your conditioning and rehearsals.
And then it was quite a change from Brazil to Florida to Paris, then to New York. How was it for you at the beginning of your career? When you started at ABT, were you given a lot of roles right away, or was it a real shock? How was your...
I worked very hard, actually, when I first joined. I wasn't given everything at once, which I'm very grateful for. Because I feel like I have a bigger sense of what's around me. When I do something like Romeo or Swan Lake or Giselle, I can picture in my mind, it's not just about I am here as a person. I have to imagine what's around me, the corps de ballet, what they're doing. Of course, I'm focusing and telling the story with my partner. But because I've had so much experience in the corps, I took that Kevin McKenzie, he really paced my career in such a way that I have such an appreciation for what they do and how they give to the story. And so I feel like I did do a lot of soloist works and principal works early, within like probably 9 months in the company. But I was in corps de ballet for 3 years and a soloist for 3 years. And then I was promoted to principal dancer. So I did a lot of, one day I would do Romeo, and then the next day I was in the corps in the back line of theme and variations. So it kept me humble and kept me working for what I wanted.
And thank you. And how is it for you, Diana?
No, when I listen now, Marcelo, he all the time telling, I was really hard and I was really hard worker, but until this day, you can imagine how he work hard. And you need to learn from him, because our profession, it's really tough. And all of the dancer needs to be really disciplined. But how disciplined Marcelo, you can believe it. How he concentrate each moment, how he catch he just really eat you, really in a wonderful way. But he like a sponge. Yeah, and I love it. I give him more and more.
I love that you love it.
I'm really emotional also. He's Brazilian, I'm Russian, but my blood Tartar. And it's how we have him.
I mean, it was because of Diana, because she was experienced when I first started dancing with her. She was more experienced than I was. And so she gave me so much information at the beginning for me to think about, but I was ready. Right? I felt like I was ready to receive that.
You push me more, and it's give me hazard. I don't feel now from the now generation they don't have full of hazard to be better, to be the best, to take your journey a really hard way. They more simple way. They choose more simple way. I'm sure. It's not because I really see around what is going on. In our time, we don't have a social media. We don't have internet. We're full of we didn't know what is going in ABT. We didn't know what is going in Paris. But if you have a DVD or no, at that time it's just cassette. And it's, you can't believe it. And you're watching every day without stop and try to catch and try to find your way, how you're use yourself. You're right. Yeah. And how can I say? It's really different. The world has changed now. I don't know. It will be better, but it will be more bad, but I feel how we are more pushing ourselves in our professional way.
And then how do you prepare? I mean, you both dance huge repertoires, from very classical to very contemporary. How do you prepare? Do you prepare very differently for one, or?
No, 10 years in Mariinsky Theater, of course I'm concentrate for the repertoire of the classical ballet. Of course, in that period, the wall is open and the people like choreographer start to come in Mariinsky Theater, like Neymar, Farsight, and it's also give another briefing, Macmillan, and of course, it was really art atmosphere in Mariinsky Theater in my period, and I'm really grateful that I'm really in that time growing in Mariinsky. But after 10 years, I just click in my mind, okay, I need more. And I try to find my way. I'm going to ABT, I'm going to Berlin. I try to find my way in contemporary to do my project. And now more and more, and now I'm doing my festival, and full of ideas still going in my mind. One door it's open, it's an hour 10 open if you take a risk. If you take a risk, if you start to forget who you are, prima ballerina or queen of the swan. You need to forget. If you want to go push yourself forward, you need again start from zero each period of your step of your growing. Yeah, and it's not only when you're a student, when you're prima ballerina, when you're going in the West, it's a completely different world. If you're going to the contemporary world, it's completely, you need to forget about your full of already, you can learn your body already kind of really also discipline and professional way getting easier, but when you start contemporary way, it's full of the mentally problem, not only physical, mentally, and you need to be really powerful again to be strong inside. Yeah, but it's great life and it's really short life, yeah, and you can understand you need to really attention each hour, each day of yourself.
And do you have, I mean,
That was beautiful. Wow. Thanks. That was nice. Very well explained.
It's good that I'm still
That was
inspiring
nice.
you.
I was just here, like, listening.
good. And then Marcelo, you also dance a huge repertoire. And how do you prepare? Do you find it difficult to switch, or?
No, I mean, at ABT we do a lot of different styles, and we don't have very many rehearsal periods. So, in one 4 weeks of rehearsals, we could be in 1 hour you're in the studio during Prince Siegfried, and then for the next 3 you're making a new creation with the choreographer. And then you go back to the waltz, and then you go. So it's you have nowadays, and I think for a very long time now, a dancer has to be able to kind of be a chameleon and be able to apply themselves back and forth. I think the preparation, of course, is different as you grow older and you find what you need for your body to be warm and ready to the stage. Maybe it's not a full ballet bar, maybe it's some kind of exercises, or if you're doing something very classical, then it is a full bar, if it is a full center. I'm always doing full ballet class, I don't know, no matter what, so I can't really say.
Full day, 8 hours without stop, just switch the studio. I just see Marcelo going to different studio.
Yeah, so anyway, preparation differs, yeah.
Okay. And you've both also had the chance to work with many choreographers. I mean, do you really enjoy like a creative process where you can contribute, or do you prefer to reinvent the classics each time you dance them, or?
When you work with a choreographer, you open your personal world. Because when you are a student, when you start to be a ballerina, everybody around you all the time pick you. You're not right, you're not good, you're not right, you're not good. And full of complex going around. And you need to also be powerful and strong and don't be fat up with yourself. But when you meet choreographer, he open your wonderful side, and I start to listen from each choreographer how I'm wonderful, how I'm great, how I can do this and that, and it's open your and of course that experience you put in a classical way, and you feel how you're growing personally and how you be stronger, and of course you can tell more deep story to the audience, to the partner, to be center of the company, center of the performance, and you can communicate because it's observe. You are more wild after when you try the contemporary way.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a wonderful experience, and I'm sure Diana agrees. When a choreographer, you go in the studio with a choreographer, you have no idea what they're gonna ask, and they're able to push you to limits that you didn't know that you were capable of, even after so long. And that for us is the most exciting thing, because of course, like, to do a different production of the classical Swan Lake, it's something that you can adapt to a certain kind of different style of a different company, or maybe a different version. But to make something new and to work with that person one-on-one, getting information directly is so exciting. And what sometimes I think that way, this is why I dance, is to be able to explore ways that I didn't know that it could be possible. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, they
Okay.
see you different perspective, different angles. Yeah, and it's really that's how you became artist and you found yourself, what you want to really tell about yourself, about your experience, not only dance world, or your experience in your life, and your experience of your feeling, of your emotional. And of course, it's not because you start crying or smiling. No, it's perspective of the culture, emotional way, and it's really art. It's not because of you didn't feel before and now you start to feel. No, it's not primitive way. It's really going through the art.
Like, we learned this one pas de deux by Iri Kilian called Nuage very recently, and we learned it from someone else, not from him, and we flew to Holland, and finally there was the time where we were going to work with Iri Kilian, you know, the master, the man that I've looked up to my whole life. And we walk in the studio and we start rehearsing, and just the way he explains the movement, I mean, that was already enough for us to change so much of what we already know and how we did it. It was like he was giving us poetry as corrections. And that, for us as artists, is priceless, because you're getting not just turn out your leg and this needs to be faster or this needs to be quicker or turn more here or your leg no lower. It was like he was feeding us what we needed at that time. It was an incredible experience, just as an example.
Yeah, but you need to be ready for that kind of work. You need to be ready. Yeah, turn out.
We still get turnout corrections, by the way.
And I'm sure there are other choreographers or roles that you really are itching to try. Is there another choreographer that you've always wanted to and not yet had the chance, or another role, or open question for both of you?
Oh, I think so. I mean, why stop now, you know?
I hope not. I hope not.
I mean, Diana is much more able to do her own projects, and I've been with ABT for 18 years now, and I would love to spend more time, obviously, in Europe and meet with different choreographers. There's a lot to experience, I think. So.
Yeah. And Diana?
No, you will see. It's full of idea. I don't want to mention because it's kind of superstition. Yeah. Let's see a future.
Okay. And also then you've been very active now developing your own festival. Tell us a little bit about this, about your initiative and...
Yeah, because everybody, especially on the West, know that Russian ballet is really strong, like in a classical way. Yeah, of course we have a great theater like Bolshoi, Mariinsky, and we have unbelievable dancers each generation. But our audience and our people, they're not really understand and maybe not really ready. Not now, before maybe 10 years ago, and they not really. Feel like they not really understood the contemporary dancer. Of course, some festival or company all the time came to Russia, but now I feel how they're hungry and how we need it, and we need growing not only just present West company, we need growing our contemporary choreographer, and that's my message, my mission to help. I feel it how they have potential, but they can understand where just child kind of not understand where they need to go, how you need to present your work, your idea, yeah. And I try to help them, and it's full of education program, lecture, master classes, and it's really successful going. And first year it was not easy because the people from Bolshoi, they see the name of Diana Vishneva and they maybe want to see me like the same on tutu or in Koran. But each year it's more understand, and the people really now want to see what I present. And of course I'm really prepare the audience, because it's not only the West company came and we going around the public, explain what it's going and how they you need to open your really mind, and I feel it's really going well. Yeah, and of course I'm doing also really new work, especially this year I work with Hans van Man, and it's also takes time to invite him personally. Of course I know who is Hans van Man, but you know sometimes it needs right time to meet choreographer and to work with him. Yeah, now I did 2 work of him and it's really great. He's 80 something, and I'm lucky that I have chance to work with him.
And then Marcelo, I had the chance to see Marcelo teach a masterclass for the Prix de Lausanne in Sao Paulo. And I think it was wonderful to see you. I mean, not only were they all enamored, but I mean, you really inspired them and taught a fantastic class. Are you interested in the future to teach, coach?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, absolutely. I'm also been choreographing for past 5 years or so, and teaching and coaching a little bit here and there. I do want to direct a company in the future. I think that I love working with dancers. I like being in the studio with them. I like sharing my experience with dancers. That's something that gives me great pleasure, and I'm not scared of, I think. And I feel like it takes a specific kind of person to do that. Now I see how I work with my coach at ABT, Clinton Luckett. He really takes the time to know how I'm feeling and works with people that are exactly in front of him, because nobody's the same. So I cannot say the same thing to all the dancers that are in front of me that I'm working with. So that for me is very interesting, and I'm definitely enjoying that. I think it's something that I will continue for sure.
great. Well, at this point, I mean, I could keep on. This is so easy. I don't have to ask any. It's just lovely to listen to both of you talk. But I'm sure there are some questions from the floor. So at this point, I would like to open it up. Yes? We'll start in the front row.
Thank you. We love you both. I'm in the board for 40 years, so I'm very happy I saw you winning, and so happy to see your career. And I must say, Diana, I saw you in the Bolero in Lausanne 2 years ago with the Béjar Ballet. You are the best Bolero dancer I ever saw, and I saw Duška Sifnios when she started with Maurice. So I will never forget.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I just did in November the tribute to Maya Plisetskaya in Bolshoi. And 2 years ago, I really prepared myself to dance in Bolshoi, because you can believe it, how it's a huge deal to be in the Bolshoi Theater historical stage, to dance for the celebrate Maya Plisetskaya. She's, of course, dying. She's not alive for her celebration. But it was, and she asked me, before 2 years, that's when I'm dancing in Lausanne, Diana, can you do on my 90-year celebration, of course. And that time I really, because it's really hard to be after so great dancer who dance bolero, and it's not many, it's just few, yeah, but after you need really found your way to present, because you can't do just step of the bolero, you need to give something more. And that's 2 years I prepared for the Bolshoi Theater, and it was great. I think Maya Plisetskaya was happy.
Mrs. Vishneva, when you got your first engagement outside of Russia, Would you say your technical background differed from that of the other dancers?
You know, I'm not typical dancer from the beginning. I'm kind of going controversial way always. When I was child, actually, меня не принимали 3 года.
I couldn't enter for the school of Vaganel for 3 years because of my style.
No, it's not because of my style. It's more just physical things, and but it's immediately give me that for me it will be not only hard way, most of the hard way, but and you are ready to take that hard way, and I said myself, yeah, I'm ready. I take it, and I took. But I'm not typical, and that's what I'm saying. When I was graduation in Vaganov school, some already mature dancers said me immediately, Diana, you know you need to go to the West. Your presentation, how you are feeling, just of course from the child feeling, but you need to go to the West because somebody told me, you know, you need career bigger than just be a ballerina Mariinsky Theater. And when I was in Lausanne, some people came and said, you know, your style a little bit same like Alessandra Ferri, and it was my idol. I really admire her, and for me it was really compliment. And of course, I'm all the time looking to Natalia Makarov, how's her movement, not just perfect Russian ballet school, but more than that. And of course, I really learn, and I really want to be out of that just typical ballerina or typical feeling of the style ballerina. But for me, it's really important tradition and history of the Russian ballet. And I try to take this one, and I try to learn from the West, from the different school, different choreographer like Balanchine, Robbins, I'm start, and I feel immediately, that's my Russian training from Vaganova school, it's not enough. And I try adapt my body each year. I'm really changes. How I look, how I feel inside, how my body, I'm really suffering with my body. I'm really tough with myself. And some choreographer all the time tell me, you know, Diana, you're too tough with yourself, but it's my way. I can, Marcelo, no. Every rehearsal, it's like a performance for us. And it gives you more potential on your performance, and that's magical coming if you will be work like that way.
Have another, just behind you here, and then
Ladies first. Well, you mentioned Duška Sifnius. I'm from Belgrade, from Serbia. I'm very proud that the name of Duška Sifnius is still alive and well known. And I'm proud on a national level that first Duška was Bejar's most beloved ballerina, and then all of you came after hearing that masterpiece called Bolero. As I know, Sylvie Guillaume stopped dancing on the stage with the same title in Tokyo recently, and it was a marvelous performance. So thank you very much first to you to mention Duška Sifnius. My question goes to, because I'm an editor of one and only dance magazine in the whole Balkan region, founder and editor-in-chief, dear Gomez, Mr. Gomez, you don't know how much photos I published of you in the last 24 years.
Thank you.
Thanks to ABT press release, and of course New York City Ballet, and of you, Madame Vishneva, because it's the place where young people in my country can get a clue what it's all about. My question for Mr. Gomez is, how on earth Americans can succeed to cherish and take care of Balanchine work, and, you know, as a basic, and go forward in two beautiful companies in New York, ABT and the New York City Ballet, and then even more to Washington, San Francisco, and on others good companies in America, to cherish the tradition, how it goes in America, because it's going. And for Madame Vishneva, please, I know so many choreographers. You were working with Jean-Christophe Maillot, Neumayer, and so, but especially Caroline Carson. I'm curious because I know her, and I would like to hear some words about your work and understanding with Caroline Carson, because I think it's special. Thank you very much.
Sorry, did you say that you think that the Balanchine way is gone? Ah, okay. All right, good. I was like, how are you going to keep it going? Like, I don't know. I wasn't there. Yes, it is very much alive.
We can witness in my country and in other countries,
Right.
as I'm journalist, that this tradition.
Yeah. A lot of people that were with Balanchine remember it differently. And I think that's one of the things that he very much applied to very different people that he was working with. I did Apollo recently, a couple years back, and literally every person that has done Apollo knows it differently and doesn't remember the same timing, doesn't even the same steps really. No, the hands never do that. It's like this, up, or no, it's accent down. Oh, exactly. So I think that dancers nowadays take everything into consideration, and if you're not trained, like I wasn't not trained at School of American Ballet, I have to be able to interpret it my own way and see how I can apply the Balanchine technique to myself, and then put my personality onto it. There are ballets like Theme and Variations, for example, that were made in both companies, New York City Ballet and American Ballet Theater, and we do it very differently. And we're just across the street from each other, you know. And so I think that I have a very open mind about everything. When I sit to see Theme and Variations in New York City Ballet, I know exactly, not exactly what I'm going to see, but I have to try to adapt to the house that I am in. And when people come to see American Ballet Theater at the Met, Theme and Variations at the Met, they have to adjust. And the problem is that an audience, sometimes that it's a die-hard Balanchine person, has a bit of a problem. But we're going to keep on doing it. We're going to keep on dancing.
Thank you.
Great. Diana?
Yeah, about working with Caroline Carson. You know, I'm also really happy. I was really lucky. I'm working with Pina Bausch before she died. It's kind of 4 months before I was in Wuppertal Festival, and I present small piece from Tenchi. But it was really experience, and it's still, of course, in my memory, and how he worked with me. It's in a couple of days, and it was unbelievable. And because, you know, the choreographer woman, they are different than choreographer men. They see first of all, they see the woman, and they see the world of the woman, and they see. They start give the story from inside. Not from the body, not from physicality, not from the presentation, but really the story of you. I am not talking about human being, because each choreographer gives that kind of story, but really woman's story. And for me, it really makes sense to work with I'm really more inspiring to work with a woman. I don't know, maybe just now, maybe just that kind of period, because especially the Caroline Carson, she opened me more like a woman to be on stage. She tell me about me really wonderful things.
And there was a question right in front.
My question is to Marcelo. Marcelo, I saw you dance the role of Luca, the drifter in Carmen at Sadler Wells last year, which I think is called a musical dance thriller. I also saw you at the Monterey Festival in your own Paganini solo. Is there a world of difference between classical dancing Albrecht and dancing the so-called dance thriller role?
Yes, there's huge difference. I mean, in the only the dance aspect of it is different. What this gentleman is saying is that I played the role of Luca in the car and in Matthew Bourne's The Car Man, which is a wonderful show, wonderful piece of work with Bizet's Carmen, but he wrote his own original story, which is based on kind of modern times. And a year before that, I danced the role of the Swan in his Matthew Bourne Swan Lake in Japan. And I mean, what Matthew has given me is also a tremendous amount of knowledge. He's the type of choreographer we're talking about where you walk into the studio and I didn't know that I could do such things. He is much more concerned about how are you telling the story, and it has to be real. It has to be, it can't be, it's more than acting. It's, and I've never had the opportunity to do that before, where if you're smoking a cigarette or you're picking up a glass from a table, that you just pick up the glass instead of in Swan Lake how you would bow and you would toast somebody and you use your motion. No, he just wants me to pick up the glass and drink the drink. And that for me was a language that I had never experienced before. I was the minority because all of his artists knew exactly how to behave that way. And so I felt like the underdog and that I had to stand up to them, which was wonderful. And so it is very different, but I'm definitely noticing more things in the classical world that do not make sense. I'm like, why are people talking that way there? Why are they going, me and you, and why, you know? Why are they using all that movement where they're talking? But I can understand both sides of the spectrum, and I was able to use this experience to my classical work, which has been wonderful.
Another question right in the front.
Marcelo, when you were a young member of the core of ABT in the late 90s, I guess, who were ABT had some wonderful dancers that period of time. Who were the male dancers, either at ABT or elsewhere, who inspired you and made you raise your bar?
He's actually a person that's right here. He's our president of the jury, Mr. Julio Boca. I was inspired by him as a young boy in Brazil. I knew that he was an Argentinian dancer. And when I joined ABT, you know, I was sitting in the studio and he was the one doing all the big pas de deux, Manon pas de deux, bedroom pas de deux, with Alessandra Ferri, tossing her around and pushing her off balance to the last possible moment where you thought she was going to come off point, or you thought she was going to hit her head on the floor and he caught her. And that for a 17-year-old was exciting. Like I said, I want to be that guy. I want to do that, you know. And here we are. And this is me and Diana at the moment. When there's a run through of the rehearsal of the ballet, a rehearsal in the studio, I take very much pride in showing them and showing the young dancers in the company, not in a selfish way and not in a confidence way, but a passing on to as an inspirational person, because that for me, he did that for me. So
We're really running out of time, but if there's one last question. Is there one last question?
Thank you to be there. Will we have the chance to watch them dance anything?
Not here, but welcome to New York or somewhere. Yeah.
In when is it? In May, we're dancing together. In June, Romeo and Juliet. Yeah. So you're all invited, our guests.
And then I'd like to ask one last question to both of you. I mean, I'm sure amongst all of the performances, there was one show when disaster struck. Did you ever have a life's most embarrassing moment on stage or something funny, or was there ever a moment when you were like...
I think, yeah, not together.
Not
yeah.
together, I don't think.
Together we have just incredible emotional
Yeah.
feeling what we're doing, especially Manon, Onegin, Kranker, yeah.
Lady of the Camellias.
The Chameleon, yeah. It's never forget what you're feeling from both of us.
Diana she's very, she's unbelievably real on stage. She's so in the moment, and it's so wonderful to experience that as a partner, because when I touch her waist and she's able to be even more free, I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to do as a dancer, as a partner. But I have one funny little story to say, which is not really that great, but in Onegin, she has to come and take the letter from the table and give it to me, and somehow she maybe didn't grab it as strong or something, and the letter flew off her hand. And it's the moment, the final moment where she's supposed to say, like, here it is, I don't want your words ever again. And the letter is going like this, and I'm going like that. And she caught it. She went. It was unbelievable. Without missing a beat in the eye, she was like, what? It's like Mission Impossible. So that's those moments that we laugh about later, of course. But at the time, we don't remember that this happened. Yeah. So, but it's a 50-50 partnership, and
Yeah, that's kind of
pleasure.
freedom what talking about Marcelo. It's he give me this one. I'm really trust. I don't need to worry about how was period or how was lived. I'm just going. I'm just jumping and doing, and he gives me freedom, and it's amazing because if you have that kind of partner, it's you happy because it's also like your private life. If you found your second half, it's also in the same way in professional life. If you found your half, you are happy, and that's we are happy.
I really want to thank both of you for taking your time. I have to say we're really in the presence of two incredible artists. And thank you for everything you're bringing back to Lausanne. And I really look forward to seeing you in the performance. And thank you both for your time. It's been a wonderful chance to get to know you.
Thank you, Jason.
And thank you for the Prix. And we have a little something for both of you. And thank you all very much.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye.